Yeah, so funny story. This was originally an Avengers 1 Captain America suit video. Well, that story is not really a story or funny. But I was surfing through the comments of the previous video, and one recommendation was so good it made me yeet Captain America. Superman Returns. Oh my god, Superman Returns. But does the suit meet the code, Dexter? This suit fits the entire code of this series. It shows potential but makes a lot of divisive decisions in its execution. If the suit is literally the worst thing ever made, I'm not going to bother making a video on it, because that horse has been so beat there's nothing left to really beat anymore. I would also have to manufacture an entirely new costume instead of working with what's already there. The suits for these videos have to sit somewhere in the middle of the spectrum, and this suit does exactly that. It follows the typical conventions of any Superman costumes, but then just decides to, I don't know, use a near brown shade of red, a really small crest on the chest, an S on the belt too. I mean, it's a little repetitive, mate. At least put on the cape or something. Trunks that are kind of too short, I think. I'll have to come back to that one. Cape seam that sits a little too high up in my personal opinion. And emboldened S's everywhere. So Superman Returns has to be the subject matter of today. Sorry, Cat, you didn't make the cut. You're not good enough. Or mediocre enough in this sense. I don't really know. So yeah, I think everything I listed makes it pretty obvious what the general plan is going to be here. First course of action is changing the colors, 100%. This red hardly classifies as red. It's just not going to cut it, mate. I'm also going to change the blue. I'm not really a fan of the shade of blue that they used. I'm going to play around with it a little bit. Also, again, obvious action, increase the size of the crest on the chest. The crest of Superman kind of has to frame his chest, and this, well, just doesn't do that job, so we're making it bigger. Second course of action, removing the S on the belt. Again, like I said, a little repetitive. Like, we can see the S on the chest already, mate. I know it's not big, but we can still see it. Again, I think the next step was going to be, again, moving the neckline slightly down so the seams of the cape can come a little bit lower. I don't know, I think it's too high up on his neck, personally. I don't know. It kind of makes the suit look a little, like, too tight, and maybe it doesn't fit. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one. We'll probably come back to that one. And then the rest of them are kind of up in the air, like maybe play around with the boots, the length of the cape, you know, just in the moment, whatever works. I do genuinely really appreciate the one guy who did recommend this movie to me, because god, this was not on my radar for some reason. Funnily enough, before Superman 2025, this was the only Superman movie I had ever watched. I saw it on TV when I was quite young and only remembered like 3 scenes from it. The plane scene, the minigun scene, and the scene where he goes to the crystal planet. I didn't know what kryptonite was at this time, by the way. And gets the fuck beaten out of him. Young me was like, oh my god, is this guy a poser or something? I thought he had powers. Is he not gonna fight back? Oh my... I know there's a camp of liking Superman and not liking Superman. I'm gonna stay on this side of not liking him, because goddamn, my goat would never. When I was watching this movie all that time back, I can remember being quite bored due to the lack of action in it. The movie kind of felt really like drab, moody, melodramatic. I don't know how true this is now. I haven't seen the movie since I watched it back then, so I couldn't tell you if these opinions from like 10-year-old me are valid or not. But I don't think I necessarily have a lot of opinions, or at least strong ones, that I tend to have in this series. The suit, again, it fits a lot of conventions of the Superman suit. It's just off, you know what I mean? It's just little things that kind of just make it so that the suit doesn't really come together. And I imagine you can guess from the opening that the Avengers 1 Captain America suit will be the subject of the next redesign video.